When kids stay inspired and engaged,
we stay in school.
Every year, Boys and Girls Clubs across Canada help kids succeed. With study programs like Rogers Raising the Grade, we help kids develop the confidence and life skills they need. The club helps kids stay where they
belong.
Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada, proudly supported by Rogers Youth Fund.
With education,
Three,
anything's
two,
possible.
To my left, to your right. I like that when you listen to a hockey game or a football game, and the Leafs are starting to my left. Okay, but does it matter? I don't know, but I always found it interesting. Anyway, to my left, Al Brisco, Canada's ambassador of the steel guitar. But that's what it says here. Last week, Mark Jordan was on this program. And he was talking about a new CD that he cut, and one of the songs features a steel pedal guitar, to which I referred to as a steel guitar. And I received a Facebook
slide, I think.
What was it?
You referred to it
as a slide guitar.
Well, you referred to it.
I did, yeah. And this gentleman, Al Brisco, said, "Love Mark Jordan. Just wanted to let you know it's actually a steel guitar, steel slide guitar."
Right. No, a pedal steel guitar.
What the hell is it?
Okay, that leads us right into it, doesn't it?
What is it?
It's a pedal steel guitar.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, but why does it say ambassador of the steel guitar?
Because
why doesn't
the
it say
steel
pedal?
Guitar encompasses many versions.
Oh.
Yeah, so in the steel guitar world you have a lap steel, a non-pedal steel, and a pedal steel. And then you referred to a slide guitar, and we'll just clear that up. A slide is usually referred to a bottleneck or a glass slide used on a regular lead guitar.
I see.
And that tune we opened with had a little flavor of that.
That had slide.
Yeah.
But you've got a pedal guitar.
Exactly.
So essentially, you've got a guitar with no with no bottom to it, right?
Well, there's a lot underneath here. That's where it all happens.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it doesn't like if you were trying to imagine a guitar, you've got the neck of the guitar. With all the strings, and then there's the guitar shape itself. Right. You don't have that.
No,
you're on a little table.
That's right. Now you got it. Yeah, they call it. Sometimes they call it a table guitar, and then it really makes you mad when they come up and say, "Oh, you're the guy on the keyboard." Anyway, this is a single neck, 10-string pedal steel guitar.
10-string.
Yeah,
no less.
With 3-foot pedals and 5 knee levers.
I got to look at your pedals.
And the pedals and the knee. Yeah. So the pedals and the knee levers change the chords and and all that.
When did this first come into being?
Well, back the first really manufactured one, the Gibson Company had one out in 1939. Mm-hmm. There were companies before that, the Harlan
What was
Brothers.
the reason for it?
Well, it took a Hawaiian guitar, which evolved from probably, they figure, Portugal, where the Spanish guitar kind of evolved from, and somebody took a piece of bone and slid it up and down the strings, and it got over to Hawaii, and they were just a Hawaiian guitar, and it got into the States, and it got electrified. So that's where it evolved from, and then...
But the Spanish guitar was a standard guitar.
That's right.
With the body on it.
That's right. And then
when did it lose its body and become?
1939, I would say, around there. Oh. And then in the 50s or late 40s, in the 50s, then it got into Nashville, and this tuning is called the Nashville E9 chromatic that 90% of the pedal steel players in the world play.
Where do you go to learn to play that instrument?
Well, it's a very niche market.
I would imagine.
Yes, and
can you pick up chicks with that?
I think my wife's listening.
Okay. Did you? Prior to the fabulous marriage?
Yeah. You'd have to say, well, we've got 2 hours until I tear this down before we're going home.
Yeah, that's right. Well, because guys are always saying, young guys take up the guitar because it's a chick magnet, right? So you meet women.
This one is consumed more for the feel this is an instrument that grabs your inner heartstrings
Yeah.
and won't let go.
It's got a great sound.
Yeah.
It's got a great sound.
And we call it one of the most expressive instruments in the world.
And how much is that, if I can ask?
This one here is $2,200.
That's not bad.
They run, you get single neck, double necks. You know what the difference between a single neck and a double neck is?
More hickeys?
Well, the double neck will burn longer.
I read that you learned to play this by mimicking other records, by putting coins on the arm of your turntable.
That's right.
In order to slow it down?
You're giving away my age. Yes, I used to listen to old Buck Owens albums with Ralph Mooney playing pedal steel, and that's what I did, because we didn't have variable speed turntables and things like that, and so we had to do that. And then I had a turntable that'd go at half speed, half of 33 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let me just move that
yes,
in.
and so then I could learn this tune at half the speed,
Uh-huh.
and it just a lot of trial and error.
Right.
And now there's all kinds of instruction available over the internet, and of course I have mainly the only steel guitar specialty shop in Canada. And
Where is it?
that is in Colborne, or 4 acres outside of Colborne. I'm just by the Big Apple off the 401. Anybody that drives the 401, and I have all kinds of instructional material, and so.
Do you get a lot of young people coming to you to learn?
Not enough. We are trying to. Pedal steel has to kind of take a new direction. It's been kind of pigeonholed in the country
Right.
kind of market for a long time. But there's jazz players, there's rock players, there's all kinds of music played on it, even some classical. And so it's just up to the player.
We should have had you here earlier when we had the young.
Did you hear her?
I listened to her coming
She was
in.
amazing, wasn't she?
She played more notes in a minute than I do in a year.
Marika Bernakis, we're talking about. She's a classical pianist, and she's outstanding.
Yes,
She doesn't like being called a virtuoso, but if that's not a virtuoso, then
Oh, she's
I
fabulous.
don't know what is.
Yeah.
So here's a guitar. Is this before you got to this? Did you learn to play the guitar before you decided?
Yeah, my mother made me take 5 years piano lessons when I was a child.
Good, and it helped.
And, but I didn't bring any of that over to this instrument. I used this scenario when they asked Chet Atkins, "Do you read music?" And he said, "Well, not enough to hurt my playing." And so that's kind of been I always remember taking my grade 5 conservatory music exam, and there I was playing the tune, flipping the pages, playing the tune, and at the end of it the adjudicator said, "Well, that was very good, but you didn't read a note," because my memory is much faster than, my ear is faster than my eyes, I guess.
Wow.
So, and I feel very fortunate to have grown up in the era I did. I went out of high school on the road in 1965 playing music, and back then you could play 6 nights a week for a little money.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids today don't have that luxury
Don't have
of
that.
being able to hone their craft on the job.
I'm just looking at the names of some of the people you've played with: Ian and Sylvia Tyson, Gordy Tapp, Tommy Hunter. Years with Ronnie Hawkins. We'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Zappa. The band, Chris Christopherson and Beverly D'Angelo. That's an interesting combination, Frank Zappa and the band.
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with playing with Ronnie, because
Right.
Ronnie played the Nickelodeon and Embassy Taverns and things like around town, and I was with him, and these folks used to come to town, and it was automatic. They'd come and out to see Ronnie and get up and sit in, and so we got to. Frank Zappa wanted me to move to California and play, because he'd never heard of pedal steel played with the fuzz tone and all that kind of stuff. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Al Brisco, my guest, and when we return, you and Bill are going to do something together.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Stay with us. 145 at Newstalk 1010. First, let's...